Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This video does not relate to any idol's personal life and all the incidents mentioned are truly fictional. A cute, shy girl entered the hall fixing her glasses. Her bag was pink colored princess printed and a bunny keychain hanging on the runner. From her appearance, she looked like a fresher and a high school passed out. Her head was low and she was walking without looking on the way. She slightly looked up to analyze her surroundings as she was clueless about where to go, but suddenly she felt a tap on her shoulder and she looked behind her to see a girl smiling at her. The girl was looking bubbly and extrovert type, extremely opposite of her nature. The girl spoke to her. Hi, my name is Yogi. Are you new here? Hello, my name is Jungmi. This is my first day. Oh, great. I'm a fresher too. Show me your admission letter. I'll let you know how many subjects we have in common and we'll be best friends. Hooray! Oh, I'm sorry, will you be my friend? She asked with so much hope and excitement that Jungmi couldn't deny her, and when she nodded slowly, we started to drag her to their homeroom class while being happy and jumping here and there like a baby. Jungmi and Yohi were sitting in the cafeteria as their half of the classes are over and the next class is after an hour, so they came to cafeteria. Yohi is a talking machine. She is non-stop speaking to Jungmi without any hesitation, whereas Jungmi is listening her with two eyes which are full of amazement as she thinks, how can a person speak so much on their first meet? It's not like Jungmi is a mute one or talk less. She talks a lot, but only when she gets comfortable with the person. Yohi continues to blabber, but she noticed that Jungmi is looking tired of listening her continuously, so she spoke sadly. You must be thinking why I'm speaking so much, right? Jungmi immediately looked up from her food and said, Huh? Um, Ani, Anyo? I, I'm sorry. I'm speaking so much because I've no one to share all these things. I've no friends. So as soon as I found you, I started to speak without thinking. I'm sorry. Oh, no, no, no. You shouldn't be sorry. You can share anything with me. But how come you don't have any friends? I mean, you are so outgoing and bubbly. In fact, it should be me who don't have friends. You're so beautiful and jolly. Everyone would want to be friends with you. Yohi's mood lit up listening this, and she spoke excitedly. Really? Thank you for saying that. Actually, I also wanted to be friends with everyone, but my Onni don't allow me. Onni, you have a sister? Yes, my Onni is in final year in same college as ours. Oh, what a coincidence. My Oppa is in final year too in this college. But why your Onni don't allow you to have friends? She's very protective type as I'm her only family. Before she used to accompany me always, but now as she is in her finals, she come to college when she wish. So I feel lonely without her. I tried to make friends behind her back. Nobody wants to be friends with me. They all are afraid of my only. Oh. Few days passed by, both Jungmi and Yohi became close friends. Jungmi has started to open up more. She talks more than before now. She also sometimes shares her personal things with Yohi. Overall, they have become really close friends as they stay together the whole time in college because of having same subjects. Yohi entered the hallway with her cheerful self like always, jumping here and there. She saw Jungmi near the lockers, so she immediately ran to her. Bestie! Jungmi turned to her with her bunny smile and both hugged each other. How come you are early today? Today I came with Onni. You know she's very strict, so I wake up early. Yuhi pouted as she has to wake up early in the morning, and Jungmi started to laugh on her. You? Before she could speak anything, the whole hallway filled with loud shrieks and howling of mad girls as the popular seniors entered. They went away without giving attention to their stupid fangirls who were acting wiped for them. Yui turned to Jungmi and found her still looking at the direction of seniors with her parted lips and doe eyes. Yui smirked and thought to tease Jungmi. Oh, innocent Jungmi have got crush on senior heartthrobs. Jungmi's eyes widened and she started hitting Yohi with her small fist, and Yohi laughed hard. They were having their fun and teasy banter, but someone standing far misunderstood Jungmi and gritted teeth in extreme anger. Half of the classes are over now. It's break, so all the students are heading towards cafeteria. Yuhi and Jungmi were on the way to cafeteria too when Jungmi said, Yuhi, you go and reserve a seat for us. I'll just be back from washroom. Okay, sister. With that, both went in different directions, Jungmi to washroom and Yuhi to cafeteria. Jungmi did her work and came out of the stall to wash her hands, but suddenly she got startled when the washroom door got closed with a thud. She looked up to realize there was no one else in the washroom except her and tall, beautiful girl who looked like one of the seniors. She came towards Jungmi with slow steps, and her eyes were taking hold in Jungmi's soul. Jungmi took some steps back in fear and stumbled when she realized there is only wall behind her. The girl came and stood in front of her. Jungmi reached only till her neck and was looking like a lost baby in front of her. The girl held Jungmi's jaw tightly, suppressing all the baby fat on her face, and her lips became pouty because of this. The girl bent to reach Jungmi's face and spoke. Little kitten, are you new here? Jungmi nodded her head as she was feeling pain because of the sharp, digging fingers. Her tears are at the verge of falling when the girl left her face with a jerk and patted her cheeks multiple times, that too harshly, while speaking. Remember the name, Kang Wayan, and stay 100 feet away from Yohi. Youngmi's tears slipped her eyes and she spoke with a pout lingering on her lips. Uh, are you Yohi's only? The audacity of coming near Yohi even after knowing her only. Wow, little girl, you amaze me. Anyways, remember my face before thinking of coming near Yohi. She yanked Jungmi's shoulder and she fell with a thud on floor while Wine exited the washroom, opening the lock. Jungmi cried as her face was spinning, and on top of it, her ankle twisted too. Wiping the tears harshly, she stood up with the support of slab and walked out of the washroom while limping. Her head was low and she was walking without knowing where she was going. But suddenly, her head bumped on a hard chest and she looked up to apologize, but her eyes widened in utter shock. What happened? The guy asked after cupping her face softly, but she shook her head in denial and said, Nothing. Seriously, nothing? Your eyes are red, you are limping, and your face have fingerprints. On top of that, you are saying it's nothing. Her lower lip started to curl down in a pout, and she hugged him tightly while crying out loud, Oppa! He hugged her back, caressing her head, but clenched his teeth, thinking who did this to his sister. Jungmi, who bullied you? He asked sternly, but she again shook her head while crying out loud, and seeing her weak, he lost his temper. Who the hell dared to bully Jungkook's sister? Speak up, Jungmi. Being afraid of his this behavior, she blurted out everything, that how she friendshiped with Yohi and her sister got to know now and she bullied her. Jungkook listened everything carefully with frowning expressions but his anger increased more. And who the told you to do friendship with that Yuhi? You found no one other than her to be friends with? Jungmi lowered her head and kept on crying because never in her life she ever got bullied but today. Jungkook sighed as anger was evidently increasing in his veins watching his little sister crying. He spoke to Jungmi but this time softly. Shh, stop crying like a baby and stay here only. I'll go and teach a good lesson to that Kangwayan. Before Jungmi could stop him to not to do anything, he left from there fuming in anger. She was about to go behind him, but stopped as Yuhi held her hand from behind and asked her worriedly, "What happened, Jungmi? Why are you crying? Umu, what happened to your face? Who did that to you?" You were peacefully reading a book in the empty library where only you were present, not even the librarian was there. You turned the page of the book you were reading, but before you could read further, someone snatched the book from your hand and threw it in the air. You turned around furiously to find the cold heartthrob classmate of yours towering your figure while shooting inhumane daggers in your soul with his eyes. Before this, he never interacted with you, but today, he was standing so close to you with those expressions on his face. You looked at him in confusion, and before you could ask the reason behind snatching your book, he started dragging you towards the bookshelf area, which was out of the camera reach. He left her hand with a jerk, and her back hit the bookshelf harshly. She looked at him, shocked, and spoke. "What the?" He pulled her into him and locked both of her hands behind her back with so much force that she can't move from that position. Her chest was completely sticking to his while both of them looked each other with glare. His face was just an inch away from hers and he growled on her face. "How dare you?" You frowned with gritted teeth and spoke. "Have you lost your mind, Jungkook?" With that, she wiggled to get out of his grip, but her words triggered him more, and he tightened his grip, causing her pain, which was evident on her face. "Paining, is it?" Wine looked in his eyes and spoke. "Why are you doing this? Leave me." "Are you feeling the same pain as my sister felt?" He looked at him with confusion and asked, "What?" "The girl you bullied in the washroom was my sister." Wyan understood now why he was behaving like this and she spoke. "Look." Before she could say anything, he bent his head and attacked her neck like a leech. "Jungkook, what are you doing? Stop. Leave me. Please." She tried to protest, but her hands were already locked behind her back. Jungkook didn't listen her and continuously bit and nibbled her on the same place, causing a dark bloodshot red bruise on her neck. He left her after 5 minutes and looked at her as a tear slipped off her eyes. He spoke with his venomous tone. "Remember this painful hickey given by Jeon before thinking of coming near Jungwi. He said the same way you said this to his sister and left you with a jerk before leaving the library. More tears left your eyes, but the expressions remained cold and stiff as you tried not to cry." Meanwhile, in the hallway, Jungmi spoke. "Your sister did this to me." And Jungmi told everything that happened in the washroom to Yohi. She became angry too that how can her sister harm her best friend like that. "I'm sorry from my only side." Enough. One side your sister, other side you. Listen to her and stay away from my sister. I'm not like her that I treat people like a trash, so leave before I lose my patience. "Jungkook, how dare you talk like that to my Enough, honey. Stop it. For God's sake, stop it. I'm fed up, honey. Because of you, I don't have friends. I fortunately got Jungmi, but now you did this to her. I know you care for me, but your overprotectiveness is choking me." "Yohi, maybe listen to Onni once." Yohi ran away from there while crying and Wine followed her while continuously shouting her name. Jungkook and Jungmi watched this and felt pity for Yohi, but no one felt Wine's pain her emotions behind her strong personality. Right now, Yuhi has locked the door of her room and she is crying continuously while Vine was sitting outside her room door after being tired of knocking it for so long. She spoke with low tone. Baby, Unni is sorry. Please open the door. Go away, Unni. I don't want to talk to you. Yuhi, please don't say that. Where will I go? I have no one other than you. Please open the door. I will make everything right. Yohi slowly opened the door and Vine stood up with a fast reflex. The door opened and Yohi hugged Vine tightly. Both sisters cried in each other's embrace. Vine came in Yohi's room and made Yohi lay down on her lap while caressing her hairs. Yohi stopped Vine's hand from creasing her hair and hugged it while asking, Onni, why you did that? Why you bullied my best friend Jungmi? Wasn't that girl beating you? Yohi looked confused and spoke. Onni, she's my friend. Why would she do that? But I saw it with my own eyes. When? In the morning, near lockers, she was hitting your arms, that too multiple times. Yohi tried to remember it and the thing struck her mind. Oh, Onni, she was not beating me. I was teasing her, so she hit me playfully. In fact, she's so innocent and cute girl. She was introvert like you in the beginning of a friendship, and now, when she was open with me, poor her got bullied by you. Believe me, Onni, she was not like those previous friends of mine who bullied me. She's so nice like you. Vine smiled slightly and spoke. I'm sorry, baby. I'll apologize to her tomorrow, okay? She will be friends with you again. He became happy and spoke. Thank you, Annie. You're the best. But I don't think Jungkook Oppa will allow her to be friends with me again. And here, your smile faded as she said Jungkook's name. You got reminded of the incident that happened in the library. You gulped hard as your lips trembled, remembering what happened there. But Yohi broke your thoughts and spoke. Oh, Unni, what happened to your neck? Why you bandaged it? Ah, this, I got hurt. How? Leave it now. Let's eat dinner. Come. Next day at college, you searched for Jungmi and found her sitting with her brother during the lunch break. You gulped and cold sweat formed on your forehead. You hesitantly approached Jungmi as Jungkook was sitting there too. The incident from yesterday played on loop in your mind, and you turned around to go from there, but Yuhi was standing behind you with pout indicating you to go there and apologize. You sighed and went to Jungmi's table and spoke. Excuse me, Jungmi, can I have a talk with you? Jungkook aggressively stood up from his place and shouted, You! How dare you come here again? You flinched and took some steps back in fear. Oppa, stop it please. Onni, please sit on what you want to talk. You gathered all your courage and came near Jangmi. I'll just talk standing here. I wanna apologize for yesterday. I'm sorry, it was a misunderstanding. Yesterday morning I thought you were bullying Yohi. That's why I did that. Please be friends with Yohi again. She feel lonely. Yohi, who was standing behind you, she also said sorry while showing finger heart with a pout. Jungmi smiled and said, It's okay, Anni. I understand you. And Yohi's my forever best friend. You nodded and placed a chocolate on the table and left from there after patting both Jungmi and Jungkook's forehead. Yohi immediately came and sat beside Jungmi while hugging each other. I'm sorry for yesterday, Jungmi, but believe me, my Onni is very nice. Actually, my previous friends used to bully me as I was nice to everyone. But when Onni got to know, it was too late. I was admitted to hospital. And when yesterday I was teasing you and you playfully hit me, that time Onni misunderstood you. And rest of it, Please forgive her. It's okay, Yohi. The sister is like my sister. And yesterday, she didn't hurt me that much. It's just me. I'm too much sensitive. I fall on floor by mistake and twisted my ankle. Only didn't hurt me that much. Jungkook, who listened, observed, and witnessed all the things right now, was feeling guilty for doing that to you. By the way, why only went away? Won't she eat food? No, only eat once a day, that is dinner. Is she crazy? I mean, who eat only one time? Yuhi shrugged her shoulder and continued to chit-chatter with Jungmi while Jungkook was looking at the way from where you left. Now you have came in the eyes of the college heartthrob. He found your personality mystifying. Next day, you and Yuhi came to college and found Jungmi waiting there. Yuhi! Ah, hello, Unni. She greeted and bowed at the same time while you slightly nodded and left from there. You are an early person, so you come to college early, but surprisingly, Jungmi came before you. You reached near your classroom and entered inside, but your steps halted as you saw a person already present in there. He was none other than Jungkook, and then you thought in your mind that how can you be so stupid? If Jungmi came, Jungkook would obviously be there. You cursed yourself for coming early to school, but nothing can be done now. So you went to your seat without giving him a second glance while he looked at you and thought to apologize for yesterday. You placed your bag and was about to sit when Jungkook came to you. You instinctively took some steps back, and he observed it now that every time he come near you, you step away. Wine for yes, sir called me. I'm I'm going. And you immediately ran from there telling him that, which was nothing more than an excuse. Jungkook understood that you were running away from him. He thought, did he scare you that much? And of course, which girl won't be scared when a completely unknown person touches you like that? He realized he was very much wrong. He also has a sister. How can he do that to a girl? He must not have lost his control that day. He really regretted and thought to correct his mistake. So he ran out of the class and found you standing few steps away, but as soon as you saw him, you turned around and started to leave. When he followed you and you started to walk fast, but he shouted from behind, Wine, Wine, wait, please listen to me once. I'll take mere 2 minutes. You halted on your place without your knowledge and slowly turned around with racing heartbeat, risking yourself as of thinking what he will do this time. You have 2 minutes only. Speak. Wine, yesterday the thing I did was really shameful. You looked at him surprised as you never expected him to apologize. I'm really sorry for what I did with you, and I know that too, that this sorry would be useless, as I do have a sister. What if someone did this to her and said sorry afterwards? Would it heal the wound? Never. So whatever punishment you will give, I'll accept it. You can kick me, slap me, or can even complain to the dean. I'm ready. You looked at him stunned as study the typical image of a man in your eyes broke. You realized that there are still some men who accept their mistake and not feel their ego down, apologizing to a woman for the sin they committed. You remembered yesterday's Jungkook and compared him with today's. Yesterday's Jungkook did that to you for his sister, a woman, and today's Jungkook apologized to you, a woman. This shows his respect towards women, even if his yesterday's act was not justified, and he is ready to resent for it. You went to him and slapped him across his face. He held his cheek and looked at you because you didn't slap him as hard as he expected it. You slapped him tightly, but not that hard because you have one more punishment for him. Do my assignment of this semester for the whole year. Huh? Just this? It's okay if you don't want to do. You realize your mistake. That's enough. No. That's not what I mean. I'll complete my punishment. You nodded slightly and both returned to the class. You could have punished him in other ways, but only this thing came in your mind as you are already struggling with something else, so it will be helpful if someone complete your assignment for you. Next day in cafeteria, Yuhi came running and excitedly sat beside Jungmi, who was sitting with Jungkook. Jungmi, see what Oni bought for us. She showed two cute matching hair clips which had the initials J and Y, that is Jungmi and Yuhi. Wow, this is so beautiful. Thank only from my side. Wait, you do by yourself? Yuhi said playfully while showing her tongue to tease, and Jungmi in return hit her arms. Their bickering continued while Jungkook sat beside them quietly and ate his lunch like the two noisy girls don't even exist. The college hours ended. Yohi and Jungmi came out jumping and hopping hand in hand to Wine and Jungkook, who were waiting outside for them as their college hours ended earlier than the juniors. Jungmi came to you instead of going to Jungkook. You looked questionably at her, which obviously scared the poor kid. She hesitantly said, Annie, thank you for the clip. You raised your hand and she flinched, thinking you will hit her, but she felt the warmth of your cold nature when you patted and little kissed her head softly. I'm not a hunter. Don't be scared. When you said that, she showed you her front two teeth like a bunny. She then went to Jungkook and both of you went to your own ways. Next day it was break and you found Jungmi and Yohi standing outside your classroom. You thought that Jungmi came for Jungkook and Yohi came along with her. Jungkook went out of the classroom before you and he asked Jungmi, Yes miss, what you here for? Jungmi showed him her tongue and replied, I'm not here for you, mister. Jungkook looked confused, but before he can ask her anything, she and Yohi went to you, who was coming out of the class. You stopped when you found Yohi and Jungmi on your either sides. With your usual cold nature, instead of speaking anything, you raised your brows questionably. They both looked at each other, gesturing something with their eyes. It seems like they both are eyeing each other to ask you the thing which they are here for, but both are hesitant. If you want to play dumb charades with each other, then spare me. I'm going. No, Annie, wait. We want to say something. I'm all ears. Annie, that, will you come to cafeteria to eat with us? She said all that so fast in one go, but fortunately you understood her every word. Thanks for your concern, but I'm not hungry. With that you were about to leave, but they both held your hand this time. Then you can just sit with us. Yeah, Annie, she's right. I truly support her. Her last words became whispers as you gave your hard glare. Annie, please, please. They both gave you their puppy eyes, which obviously you can't avoid even if you want. Fine. They clapped their hands like they won a very tough war. Now your one arm was captivated by Yohi and other by Jungmi. They both walked more like jumping and dragged you along with them. Jungkook was walking behind the three girls, one of which was his own sister, who completely forgot about him. All four of them seated and three of them started to dig in, but the problem is when you see food, you can't control yourself. That's why you don't want to come here. Now you can't do anything other than cursing under your breath and turn away your face. Yohi knew all of this and she giggled internally. She then picked the slice of bibimbap in chopsticks and brought it in front of your lips. You felt the smell of something so near to you, so you turned your face and saw Yohi holding her chopsticks. You glared at her. Ew, it has veggies. I don't like it. You ate from her hand and she smiled with glittering eyes, but you shook your head in disbelief as you knew it was all her act to feed you. Annie, I also don't like veggies. Take my too. What are you saying? You He hissed in pain as Jungmi hit his leg really hard under the table. He shot her glare with his piercing gaze, and she apologized in tiny with her eyes because she didn't want him to speak that she loved veggies. Jungmi then placed an empty plate in front of you, and both Jungmi and Yohi placed some extra food along with veggies in your plate. Do you want me to eat this with hands? You asked coldly, and Yohi took out another pair of chopsticks and showed her teeth afterwards. I see, you both planned all of it before only. Now they both showed their teeth. Only, I wanted to ask one thing. Speak. Jungkook Oppa attend college regularly, but you don't. Why? I, I study from home. Several days went by and you attended the college not on regular basis, but whenever you attended, Jungmi and Yohi forced you to eat with them, which obviously you didn't like. All of the time eating their food, especially of Jungmi, instead of having your own is shameful. Now you attended the college after many days. It was break. Jungmi walked out of the class along with Yohi, but she saw some guys laughing behind her back. She didn't mind much, but again she caught some more students laughing. Are these people out of their mind? Why they're laughing looking at us? I don't know. Is something sticking on her back? Let me see. Yohi looked at Jungmi's back and she froze with shock. She immediately stood behind Jungmi to cover her back. Jungmi, your skirt is stained with period's blood. Jungmi became shocked and tears formed in her eyes because of embarrassment. All the students saw her like that and made fun of her. She started crying and Yohi immediately spoke. Let's go to the washroom first. I'm walking behind you. Don't worry. Jungmi stopped outside the washroom. What happened? Let's go inside. Jungmi spoke, crying badly. I don't have extra pads or clothes. I also don't have them. I just used all last week. Now what will I do? Seeing her friend like this, Yohi felt bad as she is not able to do anything. Tears formed in her eyes too. Now they both were crying standing there. On the other side, Jungkook was passing through the hallway, but he saw two girls standing near the washroom who looked like his sister and her friend. He went nearer and found his sister crying. Jungmi, what happened here? Why are you crying? Jungmi shook her head and lowered her forehead with shame. How can she tell this to her brother? Baby, tell me. Someone bullied you, huh? Someone did something? Tell me, please. No, no, no one did anything. He cupped her face and wiped her tears like he is consoling a baby. Then why crying? I, I, I got my periods. Oh, it is normal, right? Then why crying? But Jungmi could not answer further. She kept crying. Jungkook looked at Yohi and she too was standing with head lowered. Yohi, you tell me what has happened. Oppa, that, that, her skirt is stained. We don't have pads. Jungkook understood his sister is embarrassed to tell him this, but inside he was panicking as what to do now cause they can't leave for home at this time. He took off his jacket and tied it securely around her waist. Oppa, what are you doing? Your jacket will be Shh. It's okay. Cover it for now. I'll do some. What's happening here? You caught the three of them standing near the washroom instead of cafeteria, so you came and asked. You then analyzed the tension on their faces, denoting something happened. Jungmi and Yohi were crying while Jungkook has deep concern all over his face. What happened? You asked with your same cold nature, and Yohi told all of the things to you. You looked at the poor kid who was crying and fidgeting her fingers because she was very much ashamed. You went near her and she hugged you tightly while saying, Only it's paining. You hugged her back and kissed her hair gently. She cuddled in you as she needed warmth to lessen her cramps. Yohi, go to my locker. I have extra pants there. Bring a pad along with it too. She nodded and went immediately. You looked down at Jungmi, who was still hugging you. Come with me. She broke the hug and nodded. You took her inside the washroom, which was empty as all the students are at cafeteria right now. You untied her jacket first and handed it to Jungkook, who was standing outside. At the meantime, Yohi came with the things you asked for, and you took those things inside the washroom while saying, "Don't let anyone come inside." Both Jungkook and Yohi nodded, and you closed the door but didn't lock it as the two people are standing out. Jungmi, take off your skirt. Huh? She asked with shock, shyness, and feeling uncomfortable. You're wearing lower beneath that, right? Then give your skirt to me and go in the stall. I'll pass you pad and clothes. She did as you said and came out wearing neat pants. Okay, let's go out now. Jungmi opened the door and found the two people's eyes on her. All fine now? She nodded with bunny smile and then Yohi asked, Where's Annie? Huh? She's behind me. But then she turned, she found no one. She confusingly opened the door and her eyes widened when she saw Wine washing her skirt. Annie, what are you doing? Please don't. I'll wash it myself. It's okay. It will smell if you keep it unwashed. I've washed it now. Keep it in a poly bag. Okay? She nodded and hugged you. Thank you, Annie, for helping me. It's okay. You're just like your Hitomi. Jungkook, who watched all of it from starting, how you helped his sister, he was so shocked and surprised by you as you washed his sister's period clothes because nobody do that for anyone. People feel gross about it even when they hear it, but here you washed it for his sister. Has anyone helped you during your periods where you are stuck in difficult situation? Tell your story in the comment, girls. He was amazed by you. There was something which started to grow in his heart. It was evident in his eyes. Maybe a seed is sown of something like respect, which is one of the most important pillars of love. Today, Yohi and Jungmi has decided to have a sleepover at Jungmi's place, and as Wine will be left alone if Yohi go to Jungmi's house, so they plead and begged Wine to come for a sleepover too. And after a lot of efforts and convincing, she agreed. So right now, Wine and Yohi both are standing at the doorstep of Jungmi's house after ringing the bell. Soon after the door opened, both Jungmi and Yohi hugged each other, jumping like kids who met after a long time. Today we will have a lot of fun. And they both cheered and hooted, making the place look like fish market in seconds. Jungmi then hugged you too and said, Thank you, Annie, for coming to my house. You nodded with a small smile and then she welcomed you inside. The both younger ones started their bickering over which drama to binge watch while you awkwardly sat in the corner of the couch as you have never been an extrovert party animal, so you know nothing about these things. You were lost in your own world as you can't relate even a bit to them. Your eyes started scanning the place as you have nothing to do. That's when someone's thought came in your mind about the person other than Jungmi who also live in the same house. That is her brother Jungkook. Your eyes roamed around without your knowledge, but you had no intention to think about him. You got a little curious why he was not present there, but didn't intend to inquire about it as you found it opposite to your personality to meddle into others' business. The time started to pass by and you felt really bored in spite of the fact that Jungmi and Yohi tried to involve you with them. It's been 2 hours now and you felt the urge to use washroom. Jungmi, where's washroom? Oh, Annie, go straight to the hallway. There will be stairs. Follow the stairs and turn left side where the stairs end. My room will be there. It's not locked, so use the washroom. You looked dazed as she told you the whole map of her house when you just asked for washroom. You still nodded and followed her instructions. Finally, you found the room and entered the washroom. Meanwhile, the doorbell rang and Jungmi opened it, revealing Jungkook. He had no idea that Jungmi was having sleepover with her friend. When he saw Yohi, his mind unintentionally went to Vian. His heart kind of had an expectation to see Vian as well, but he didn't give much thought and left to his room to have a good shower. He locked his own door after coming inside and took off all his clothes to tie the towel on his torso. He cracked his neck and stretched few muscles to take a good relaxing bath, and then he went inside the bathroom. But his eyes widened when he found someone standing behind the curtains near the bathtub. He thought that some thief barged in his house without Jungmi and Yohi's knowledge, so without thinking twice he ran and pounced on the person, pushing him her in the water-flooded bathtub by tackling him her while pinning the hand hovering over that person. He was about to chokehold that person, but his actions stopped when his eyes saw the face. His eyes opened wide like a ball when he saw the person under him is none other than Kang Wayan, who is soaked like a wet puppy. They both were processing what just happened. Jungkook was still lying on her half naked while she got soaked from top to bottom, and her hands were pinned by him on the surface of bathtub. Her hands made the inner organ of his body to feel tiny shocks. Jungkook left her hand awkwardly and spoke. Sorry, but what are you doing in my washroom? I, that, came Jungmi room. She was not able to form words. She was so much intimidated by him and nervous as well. Her heartbeat was racing like hell, making her chest go up and down. Jungkook sensed her uneasiness and immediately tried to stand up, but his bad luck, his leg slipped and again he fell on Vine with a sound of splash. But this time they were really close and the faces were just blank length away. And not only this, he was holding her waist to support himself. Their chest was sticking, and what all added heat was Jungkook was not wearing anything on top, and Vine's shirt was of very thin fabric, so they both can feel each other's skin, and this made them turn red as they realized it. Jungkook held his doll from one hand, and the other hand held the headboard of the bathtub. He pushed himself up and got out of the bathtub. He then gave his hand to you, and you hesitantly held it. He pulled you up, and when you came up with a jerk, he immediately held your thin, tiny waist so that you won't fall down because his other hand was busy holding his doll, and you again got so close to him that your nose were touching each other's. His eyes traced you from your head, eyes, nose, lips, chin, neck, and stopped on a place, making him gulp. Your shirt was misplaced, and on top of that, it became transparent because of water. Jungkook saw your milky skin, and then his eyes landed on your cleavage, and then on your black bra, which was clearly visible. You both were lost in each other, but looked at the direction at the same time when you both heard someone clearing their throat. Your and Jungkook's eyes widened when you both saw your sister standing there watching you both. Jungmi was smirking while Yohi's mouth was wide open in shock. They both came running when they heard loud thud from upstairs. Jungmi checked her room thinking you might be there and something happened to you, but she didn't found you there, and then she thought to check her brother's room. And when they came in the room, they heard hustling from the bathroom. So Jungmi peeked inside as his brother might be bathing, and it's not right for Yohi to see that, but when she saw you both, she came inside with Yohi. Are you guys planning to stay like this? Huh? And then you realize you and Jungkook were still hugging each other. They both quickly left each other and stood there with red cheeks in embarrassment. That was the day something happened in both your and Jungkook's heart. Your cheeks flushed whenever you remembered that incident, while Jungkook's emotions were growing a bit faster than yours. He found your image always lingering in his mind all the time. It started with hate, then apology, then you both found each other's real face and nature, and now is the phase where you both find each other attractive. But if you are on level 1 of attraction, then Jungkook is on third level. The feelings are not that strong yet, but they definitely are on swing to reach and go off limits. So basically, this never happened with me, but I saw this happening with one of my classmates. She got her periods during the class and her skirt was stained. Like a really big patch was visible on her skirt. She was crying silently the whole time and then went to washroom with her best friend. But she had no pads, nothing. So me and my friend gave her pad. But then what to do about her dress? She neither had clothes nor she had time to go to home and change and come back because it was not allowed to go. So she asked her best friend to help her wash her skirt. And yes, I forgot to mention that her hand was fractured, so she can't do it on her own. She asked her best friend to help her wash the skirt, but her best friend refused to do it because she felt cross. So at the end, I helped her wash her skirt, and she was so overwhelmed with that gesture of mine, and then I comforted her. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching the video till the end. If you like it, please comment down below. It really appreciates me. And yeah, thanks for watching.